Hey guys, welcome on in. It's Tobin here with you, and thanks for checking out the channel. If you guys could subscribe, they're great. Hit that like button, comment. You guys know the deal. The Miami Heat in the midst of the offseason, watching a little EuroLeague. I missed today. I had other obligations, so I missed Italy against Spain, but I heard Fontecchio did not have a great one today. His shooting has been a little bit streaky for Italy, but that's okay. All right, as we like to say. The gondola goes out there and handles all waters, rough ones and smooth ones, but it will always end up being a smooth ride. Nobody says that. The point is he's going to bounce back, and that's what we got to do. Tomorrow we have Lithuania, Sweden. This would have been kind of cool if Kasparas Jakučionis was with the Lithuanian national team. I understand why he's not. The Heat want him there. But I would have liked to seen Pella versus Cass. I think that would have been fun. You got Serbia, Turkey tomorrow, which I believe features Shane Larkin, former Miami Hurricane. He plays for Turkey. And I believe our boy Big Yurt is on the team. They, of course, also have Şengün. So Turkey, that's a good game. I believe that's at 2:15 tomorrow. So very exciting. I also should say, a little surprise that we'll have on tomorrow on the radio show. If you're watching this, it'll be on Wednesday. So keep your ears out for that. And I believe we'll be having a fun surprise. Couple of things. Speaking of Serbia and Jakučionis, Nikola Jović, dude. He had some quotes to Basket News on Kasparas Jakučionis, and he had said that he knows a lot about him. And I was kind of excited about this because Jovic, didn't get a chance. Obviously, he wasn't in summer league. He's a 3-year player, and he's been training in Serbia basically this whole summer. But he said, I know a lot about his game. I followed him in college because he played with my really good friend Tomislav Ivicic. And that's why I watched his game. I was really surprised when we drafted him because I thought he was going to be a top 10 pick. But it's for sure a good pick for us. He's a great player. I haven't really talked to him, but I can't wait to see him play. And I'm sure he'll be a great piece for us. The one thing I'm excited about with Niko and being there with Kasparas is, while Kasparas is not a pure, shouldn't say that. While Kasparas isn't like straight out of Europe because he did play college basketball, so he's well adjusted to over here, right? And he's used to it. If you heard him on the OGs, right? He left his family to go to Spain to play ball there with their program. So he's got some use to it, but I do think it does help that you have somebody of a couple of age who's like adjusted somewhat to this and did kind of get a redshirt year. His entire rookie season was basically building him up. He did have a back injury mixed in there in Nikola Jović, but he's been through it. And I think that this is a good sounding board for Kasparas. I think this is going to be a beneficial thing. It's also awesome that, he got the moment with Goran. I don't know how long that was, but it was cool to see that. And I do think that it's beneficial. He said, it's obvious that he struggled a little bit in the summer just at the start, but I did the same thing, which is true. I really struggled at the start, but I know that he'll be a good player. That was him to Basket News, Nikola Jović. So, yeah, I mean, I think that is going to be a beneficial thing for Kasparas. I can't imagine it not being beneficial. I can't see that in a scenario where that's a bad thing that he has somebody like Niko to lean on in a situation like this. So, be an interesting thing to check out. By the way, Haywood Highsmith said goodbye. He put out his little montage video, which was really touching. It was kind of a bump. Like I said this the other day because I kind of caught myself like on Instagram, like, oh yeah, like I was looking at Haywood Highsmith and on Instagram, like, oh yeah, he's not on the Heat anymore. It's really weird. Like Haywood Highsmith's no longer on the Miami Heat, and I'll get to his goodbye here in just a second. But Mark Stein had a nugget in his newsletter, which I still get. I'm surprised that I haven't unsubscribed to that because it's been kind of few and far between on the offseason notes. I think everybody, like his whole point on this one that came out was that Thanasis Antetokounmpo is on the Bucks, and everybody's just kind of like, well, I guess Giannis isn't leaving the Bucks because they signed his brother, which I'm pretty sure that they could just trade Thanasis whenever Giannis goes. I don't think that that's like, to me, that's not like a dead giveaway. Again, I don't think Giannis is probably going anywhere unless the Bucks get off to a disastrous start. Bucks in a lot of ways a little bit like the Dolphins of the NBA, where it's like everybody's just kind of waiting to see if disaster strikes, but it may just kind of cruise through the season and they may end up like the 4 seed. But I see that Thanasis is back there, and so he was bringing that, but then like he put a little note on Fontecchio slash Haywood Highsmith, and he said there were some strong rumbles last month that Miami was looking to offload Fontecchio, but that was before Haywood Highsmith to Brooklyn trade gave them some financial wiggle room under the luxury tax, and before Fontecchio delivered a reminder of his strong shooting prowess with 7 threes on Sunday. He didn't do that today. The performance was a strong bounce back for Fontecchio after his 1 for 11 shooting against Greece. I don't think that Fontecchio in Italy really had much to do with it. I do think that my read on it probably is the knee injury. Like, I think if the Heat, looked at Haywood, I know that they put out the stuff where they said, oh, his metrics took a dive last year. That felt very selly to me. Like, it felt very much like, hey, we know we kind of did a cheapskate move here, which is what they did. I get it. I get that he wanted to be under the luxury tax. That felt like kind of the read the summer when the whole Durant thing didn't happen. It kind of felt the lean on where they were going to go anyway. It just felt dirty what they did to Haywood, so they kind of had to reason with it, and they're just like, oh yeah, his defense slipped. I'm like, all right, well, I guess if you say so. I can't go against your metrics that you say are there. But anyway, Haywood Highsmith said, Miami, it's been an awesome 4 years. Thank you to the Heat organization, my teammates, the coaching staff, and every fan who cheered me on. Your support means the world, and being part of it all has been an unforgettable experience. You gave an undrafted kid from Baltimore a chance, and I'm forever grateful for the journey, the challenges, and the growth I've experienced here. Miami will always have a special place in my heart. Hashtag Haywood Locksmith with a couple of heart emojis, which it stung, man. I was just like, man, gonna freaking miss Haywood Highsmith, dude. Like it is. I don't know. Should they have gone with him other than Fontecchio? Like, we do know the Heat need shooting, but I do think that Haywood's turned himself into a respectable shooter. Like, I don't know. Like, is Fontecchio going to basically be, Italian Kelly Olynyk? Like, do we think that there's going to be a level of that, or do they think that Spo's genuinely going to lean into Fontecchio? I can't really say. And I've said this watching Eurobasket, like, it's a little hard for me to read. Like, I don't watch his games like I do the other guys. I watched like the condensed just to kind of get a sense of how he's playing, but he's not going to play like that here. He's basically one of the go-to guys and is getting a ton of shots for Italy. And here he's going to have to fit into a role, which he's used to. I mean, he's been with that in the NBA. I'm not here to say that it won't work. I don't know if it will. So would it have been better to have somebody like Haywood Highsmith, who can defend, as opposed to Fontecchio, who's, maybe will get on a roll shooting. We'll see. But I'm not positive about that one. Now, their option would have been, I guess, to stretch him, wave and stretch. And, I think there's an element of the Heat that's probably, maybe they looked at it like, I don't know, but like maybe like Davion Mitchell, where they're just let's see what we got here. We know, maybe there's an element of the Heat that probably looked at it that was like, we know what we have with Haywood Highsmith. We know. And I do know that even if Haywood was coming back this year, this is the truth, that it was likely going to be a year where he was going to be yo-yoing in and out of the rotation because Spo was going to give other guys looks. And that's kind of just how it, but, to Haywood's credit, like, that's how it always happened for him. He was never the first thought on anybody's mind. It was always like, these guys stink, this guy's hurt, Haywood's here to kind of show up. And a lot of the times he would do it on really big games. But I do think the Heat maybe felt an element of, they squeezed all the juice that was there, and they want to see if they could find something new, something different, a little bit of a different dynamic, as many new dynamics as they could find. And so I think maybe that's where it comes into the fold. But if he never got hurt, it would have been interesting to see, what direction they would have gone with all of this and where they're at. Because they could have also done this in the midst of the season. They felt like this was their opportunity. They didn't want to squander it. But it's tough for it not to have like a little feeling for you. You know what I mean? So that's that. But it was tough to see Haywood say goodbye.